Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Game Master Chef Presents Descent into Avernus. With me, as always, are my fabulous friends. With me, as always, we have Alex playing Eno Idasipi Sunriva, Pat playing Tarvos Moonbrook, Fitz playing Calum Time, and Ben playing Barnabas Blastwind. Last week we left off with the party having realized that there was a secondary party interested in something in the manor. Whatever it was, they managed to get a hold of it and get away with it, despite Calum and Tarvos's best efforts in pursuing them. They did manage to narrowly escape by jumping a fence, knocking over a poor elderly gardener, and fleeing into the streets to not be found. This left Calum and Tarvos both disgruntled and sort of displeased with themselves, and they've both found moments of respite. Tarvos having found himself a park bench where he now observes children and others playing and glances up into the sky, taking a moment for himself, while Calum tosses between where he should go next, not knowing if he should turn back or whether he should go forward. And even then, his path forward is unsure. Barnabas has just been spotted. The guard of the local city, the city watch, the city guard, have been called to the mansion and have begun inspecting various floors, cutting off Barnabas at seemingly every exit. He has just been spotted in one of the bedrooms. What he will do, only time will tell. And finally, Eno has taken on the guise, taken on the illusion of a guard member himself. And unfortunately, that has led him to now be kind of behind enemy lines in a way, where he is now standing watch with some other guard members, unable to get away, at least for this time. So, is there anything my players feel like I may have missed or would like to brush over before we dive in?
Just that in this heist, which we were sent to investigate this house, I managed to do the entire top floor, and my party did
Fighting? Fighting? Did all the fighting?
That's
Took
true.
all the
Driving
damage?
off the enemy?
We weren't supposed to be seen.
Well, neither were the other thieves.
True.
Okay. I was just about to say it, Bryce. You are an angel, as always. Is everything coming through beautifully? Thank you. I love you. Okay, in that case, we've just launched without a hitch, I think for the first time ever. In that case, let us go to Barnabas. Let's start off with some tension. Yeah, you peek through the door, and the guard in the corridor points out and spots you. What would you like to do?
I shut the door and lock it with the keys from earlier.
Okay, you suddenly hear a voice behind you. You hear a voice behind you. So you got yourself in a bit of a pickle there.
Oh, Jot, I was just about to see if you were around, actually.
I'm always around.
I am in a little bit of a pickle. I'm in a bit of a hurry as well, Jot. About how important is a name? On
You're
a
blabbering. Sorry, sir. You're blabbering. Would you like my assistance?
No, I think I'm okay for now. Well, I'll of course let you know should things, but a little information if you've got the time. Just quickly though, how important is a name on one of your contracts?
A name is
and as
everything.
I'm saying this, I'm walking over to the balcony.
Yeah, he's watching you. And he's like on the bookshelf just to the side of you there.
Okay.
He says, a name is everything.
So if a friend had signed a contract under a pseudonym, a fake name, would that contract still be valid?
Oh, it's hard to say. Hard to say. But you seem like an interesting man, and I would like to help you. And let's put contracts aside. And then you hear a rattle at the door and a thump, and he says, "You open this door. We know you're in there."
I quickly move to this door and lock it as well, remembering there was a second guard.
Yeah, and you hear a voice from the outside. Is that you? Is there someone in there? And he goes to try his door. Like as you kind of lock it, there's a rattle at the knob, and you're like, "Oh." So look, let's just put things aside. To answer your question quite simply and truthfully, I'm not sure. However, I could procure that information for you, if you'd like.
For a price.
What were you saying about contract aside, Jut?
Simply a favor from one individual to another. Because as I said, I have my employer to think of, and quite frankly, I think you might be able to help me.
Well, if you would like to do a exchange of some variety that doesn't involve selling my soul, then I'm willing to listen.
No one said anything about a soul, and he hops down with cat-like grace from the bookshelf and begins striding over to the door. And you see a sort of you smell sulfur and sort of brimstone as he seems to like pluck from nowhere this little mechanical embedded crystal. It's this sort of little dome that has these sort of glowing crystals on it, and he just sort of spins it and twists it, and you hear this click, 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 just like an egg timer. And just mid-conversation, he strides up to the door, places it on the door, and then kind of punches it in, and then there's just this flash. So look, it's just simply a matter of I feel like you have what I need, and I have what you need, or at least I can get what you need. So I'm not willing to put it into writing. I don't think that's perfectly necessary. And all while he just kind of strides up to you, he's like, "Excuse me." The door.
Oh, sorry. The map also isn't showing on Twitch. I don't know if that's something that's intentional.
We can solve that.
I just saw you dropped a nice little picture on the map, so I thought maybe.
There we go. Yeah, and we can. Why don't we zoom into that scene at the same time? Okay.
Oh, sorry, Judd. What is it that you're doing there? Can I do an Arcana check on the device that he's?
And you see that he's sort of pulled out another one and he's placing it on the door. He's like, just finishing up my escape plan.
His fucking bomb is what he's finishing up. 11.
This little guy reminds me of Scrat.
You're just like, you think you know what he's doing, but you don't. You as a player seem to, but your character doesn't. Barnabas doesn't.
That's cool. But I'm still nervous about what he's doing, I'm sure.
Sure. Sorry, you were saying...
I think you were saying, Judd.
Was I saying I get distracted sometimes? And he pushes the button, and you realize that the lights are actually in sync, and they're slowly flashing faster and faster. And a dial around the outside is slowly filling up. There's about 12 little indicator crystals, and each one's slowly lighting up. You've got about 6 of these lights to go.
Should I be worried at all, Judd?
Well, no. You seem to have chosen the balcony as your escape.
I was planning on the balcony as an escape, yes.
Yes. You will still need the balcony.
Okay. You wouldn't. How much? There's a chest in there that might have what I'm looking for. You couldn't open that for me, could you?
Sure. And he looks up at the dial. Another light flashes on. We don't have much time.
Understood.
see you on the ground?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Oh
And-
lord.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on into a Blade song, which is going to be suddenly Barnabas is going to start moving with a grace that is not befitting his build at all. Almost like everything has become, the air has become lighter around him. And I'll run towards the balcony and leap off in the direction of a street.
Okay. How is that happening mechanically? What are we doing there?
It's up to you. I have advantage on dex saves.
Okay. What are you using?
Oh.
Your
I've
Blade
used
Song.
Blade Song, so that's going to give me an
okay.
extra 10 feet of movement. So my walking speed's increased by 10 feet, and I have advantage on acrobatics checks.
What's the song you're
Okay.
singing?
I'm not singing.
To start a
It's more
Blade
like
Song.
it's more like moving kind of like a dancer through the space.
But it's called a song.
Oh, I'll do what I want with it.
So we just hear rapid tap
It's-
dancing.
it's
from
just
your-
like-
He's put in a lot of other work. All right, guys. Let's give him the credit.
It would look very strange to see Barnabas moving in this way. It's
Okay, so you begin like this kind of contemporary dance kind of movement, preparing yourself
more like
and just kind of like
ballet
moving
sort
around.
of
Jot like strolls over to this doorway and then like before he steps in, just kind of gives it one of these shrugs. He heads inside and you maybe glance over your shoulder and you just see a flare of light that emanates out. And then again, there's like banging on the door. You squint and you look at the dial. There's only about 3 lights left. And meanwhile, Barnabas, you hear voices downstairs. Oi, we've got one. He's trapped upstairs on the balcony. Eno, we're going to go to you. As
I
there
bet
seems to
against the right
be
skies. There we are.
there seems to be a kerfuffle downstairs. I've got to stop doing that. Apology. That would have looked horrendous on the stream. Okay.
Sorry.
I just misclicked and dragged the map around violently. I got to use right click. Right click's the button. Okay. Yeah, Eno, dressed as so-and-so guard, has you are being summoned. The captain, he says, you free. You, actually, no, he's going to point to you, Eno, and he's going to say, you follow him upstairs. Cut him off. Make sure they can't escape.
Yes, sir. And I smack my hand to my chest and I just go running up the stairs. Boots
Right.
heavier than usual.
Okay. You two, you watch the perimeter, and as they head out back, roll a perception check for me.
What
Actually,
is
what's
that
your
ticking noise?
what's your
Ticks, precious.
what's your passive?
Oh, it's pretty high. 16, I think.
He is a cleric.
19 plus whatever.
Oofed.
It's not plus whatever. It's like plus 3, right?
Yeah, 22.
Yeah, you quickly sort of glance around the room, and you notice the as you stride on into this room. These are the just sort of like staff workers there. I think they've left. This guard's waiting for you across the room. You glance around the room and you look over at the fireplace, and you see this blinking emanating from somewhere up the fireplace chimney.
I will walk over and peer into it.
Pretty much,
Or
you are
am I
face to
following the guard
face.
still, or-
Not if you don't want to. He's run upstairs. He's not necessarily waiting for you. So as you stride over to it, you kind of crouch down as low as you can. Just even though you are illusory, this guard, you're still your 7-foot self, and you kind of duck your head up and around underneath, and then eventually you come face to face with this device that you can see is blinking very rapidly now, and the dial has only got 2 lights left on it. But as you kind of peer at it, one of them fills in and there's only one left.
I will pick it up and throw it into the opposite side of the room if I can.
Give me a strength check.
Yay, something will get it. All right. Yeah. That's cocked. I'll move my drink. Oh, well, I prefer the other one, but okay. Total of 14.
Okay. You pry at it. You just can't get enough of a grip on it. It seems like it's flush with the stone. You pull your fingers away. They're just covered in soot and char from the chimney. Yeah, you don't get a grip on it.
Okay. I'll turn around and is anyone around me or?
The captain's headed out the door. You can hear him barking orders, but there's no one else around you.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll follow upstairs and just leave that until later.
Okay. You and the guard rush upstairs to find yourself in a corridor with this other guard. He says, help me break down this door. The other guard is already there. The two of them taking turns, shoulder bashing, kicking with their feet as best they can. We'll go back to Barnabas.
As I leap, I want to describe it a little bit better. If you've seen Firefly, kind of moving like the way River Tam does, like like a dancer, and just like soft and very like
on the wind.
point-footed. Yeah, just very not Barnabas in movement. Yeah, I'll leap off the balcony and like spread and tumble onto the grass below and just start running.
Okay. Dexterity, please. Or acrobatics, rather.
Yeah, give me that advantage.
Yeah, boy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That is
That doesn't sound like a good... Ooh.
No, it's good. It's good. It's a 22.
All right. Yeah, with ethereal elven grace, summoned from somewhere, Barnabas, you just kind of fluidly roll off the balcony and not necessarily tumble as you come to the ground, but you just sort of, as you hit the ground, manage to take a knee and as just practiced technique behind the absorption.
Superhero landing.
Yeah, just kind of like take a knee and just like, and almost just like rise as you do so. As you come down to the ground, you find yourself sort of in front of these two bushes and a guard rounding the corner at almost the same time. I'm going to see if he notices you. I'm going to need a stealth check at the same time.
Ooh, okay. Don't have advantage on those. 13.
Okay, perfect. You manage to maintain your downward momentum. You convert it as you hit the impact, and you quickly scuffle over to behind this bush, hearing a few faint footsteps rounding the corner. Orders also being barked from that side. Did you want to try? You did say you wanted to get to the street next door, didn't you?
I wanted to start running and try and make my way back to the orphanage, I reckon.
Okay. Roll me... Actually, your perception is telling you that there is someone coming. So we're going to leave it there. You can decide if you want to try and scale the wall or not. You don't think they saw you.
Yeah, I think... Are you moving to somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll think on it.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Back to Eno.
Well, he's trying to make sure that Barnabas is all right. So he'll turn around to the guards and say, "Did you notice something over there by any chance?"
Yeah, there's a man in a robe. He looks suspect. Didn't look like he belonged. I bet he's hiding. He's here to steal something for sure.
Well then, we better make sure that he is found. And I'll yell it a little bit louder and just go to join them. step back. Let me have a try, and I will.
As
With
you
half
do
heart.
that,
Oh god, yeah, I forgot there's only one light.
as you do that, there is just this sudden flash of light, this ear-splitting crack as the door in front of you and them splinters. The door where the other guard was, just in kind, splinters, and that eruption is followed by about half a dozen more in just rapid succession. Pum, 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 pum. And from the outside, it looks as if the building itself has just erupted. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay, I think mine's a +1 on that. Yep. Oof. 4. Do I keep my face?
Oh my god. You are suddenly thrown back 10 feet. 1, 2, and you only take 2 points of thunder damage as a contained spell of Thunderwave erupts from these devices. Several others detonating in the floors around you. If you guys could see the other rooms, each bookshelf containing endless knowledge and tomes, records of civilizations and nations and cultures all over, suddenly just one after the other erupting out into the room, just papers scattering everywhere. Downstairs, there's just this kerfuffle as suits of armor begin crashing down, chandeliers begin falling, the foundations themselves actually shake. Tarvos, you hear these sudden eruptions out in the direction that you just came from. What would you like to do?
One part of me is like, either
Keep
one
looking
of
at
them.
clouds.
Yeah. Yeah. What should I do? Is there like a main street that led onto the house?
It's on the corner of two more or less main streets, yeah.
Okay, can I run from my park where I am now to kind of with it like to go to the main street and just look at the house from like afar? Kind of just be one of the crowd, as it were.
You can try.
I can try. Do I have to roll something?
No?
Okay, sweet. So that's what I go to. Back
Okay.
up my scrolls and stuff and start heading that way.
Okay. Yeah, you look around the park and pretty much everyone has just got these looks of distress and shock on their face. There's this confused look as if like nothing would ever happen in the upper city like this. This is just tragic. Something absolutely terrifying must have happened. Most people too scared to investigate, but a few others on the street seem almost drawn to it. So you sort of join a small crowd, and a man looks over to you. He's like, "Oh goodness, I hope nobody's hurt."
Is this a common occurrence? It's my first time in the city.
Oh, and he sort of puts a hand on your shoulder. He's like, no. I mean, things like this happen in the lower city occasionally. Things go wrong. I mean, Baldur's Gate isn't the safest of places, but the upper city, this is in the Manor District. Impossible, improbable.
Seems quite. I'm gonna have to note this down, and I start putting out a quill and I start writing down notes, like a report or something.
Oh, okay. I'll see you there. And he's just like, all right. Caleb, you too hear this at the distance you may have got to. If you were, do you feel like you were running
I feel like
at a good pace?
I'd done a bit of a run to start with, to get out of the immediate vicinity, and perhaps through a back alley and coming into maybe a more busy street. I just turned into a walk, pretending to look at a few goods, but wandering along, still trying to move away from the area of the crime. Upon hearing the explosion, I think perhaps my pace just quickened a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but knowing the area it came from, where I've just
Okay, so I feel like at the distance you might have achieved, it feels like kind of like a string of firecrackers going off in the distance. It doesn't sound as cataclysmic, but it still echoes out into the streets. You know, you see flocks of birds taking off and taking flight around. It wasn't a small incident.
Yep. Calum
Okay.
is concerned. He didn't think this job was. He thought it was going to be a bit of fun. To be honest, he didn't think too much of it. He was interested to find what this book the other two were after. That has piqued his interest, but he hadn't really put too much on this job. And now he realizes he's had a run-in with the guild, of which he's tried to successfully avoided for his entire career running the orphanage in his very small sort of racket. But now that he's sort of run into the guild, he is very, very concerned, seeing as one of them got away. Did two get away or one?
Two.
Two got away.
Mm-hmm.
He's very, very concerned by that, and through his head run the options he thinks he has, which is basically flee or try and make it right with the guild. And as he continues his way through the streets, he ponders these things and what he can possibly do to stay out of trouble and keep the orphanage out of trouble.
Okay. Okay, just testing something. Sorry. Okay. I feel like our music might not be working this evening. Apologies, viewers. It's not core to the experience, I can tell you that much, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be coming through, which is unfortunate. I might try and fix that in the break, but okay. So where are Calum's feet taking him? Where have you?
Calum's feet are taking him towards the temple at which he has been spending some time training under a master.
Okay. Fantastic. Back to Barnabas. As you touch down, you secure a hidden location just the other side of that bush, and this guard seems to pace around. Yeah.
Okay, what's north of me?
A few trees and then the back garden.
Oh, okay, but the street is over to the right.
To the right is another property.
Let's see.
So you are on the southwestern corner of a block.
And it looks like the guard is taking a and is there a hole in the gate somewhere along here?
Yes, pretty much right in front of the door, about 30-40 feet away. You will find that there is a gate that is wide open with two guards posted.
Okay, I think I'm just going to try and get over this fence.
All right.
Straight away.
Very good. I'm going to try and bring a map of the city. Yes. So, if you can see here, whoops, there she is. Is that on the stream? Yeah. So Hoon House is where you guys are, and it's on this corner there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to try and scale this wall.
Okay. As you turn, that is when you hear the detonations from the house.
God. Which would make the guard look in that direction, right?
I would say so.
Yes.
He in fact is so shaken. He suddenly steps to the side, trips over his own feet, and just sort of almost cowers in shock. not knowing what he could possibly do or how to react in the moment.
Guilt feeling, and then immediately
Rising.
get back to like, okay, I gotta go. Really gotta get out of here now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try and
Aw, Barnabas made a friend. Go little friend, go.
Jut.
Yeah.
More comfortable
Okay.
with being friends with Jut than having you being friends with that mimic, by the way.
That
Yeah, I get that.
burns, mate. That's
Because like
stinging.
I'm not sleeping with Jut in the same room as me, whereas like your mimic is always there. I'd lose a foot or something.
Are you sure
You
Jut's not
just
always
find
there?
a third shoe in the morning. That's all.
What do you want for getting over this wall, Jared?
I feel like with that eruption behind you, you're gonna lose some nerves. So I think it's gonna be a dexterity check or an acrobatics with disadvantage.
So a straight roll, huh?
Yeah.
It's a 10.
Crumbs.
Yeah, you manage to kind of like get a good foothold, begin to leap yourself up, but that's like as the detonation kind of comes around, so reaction, just your whole body just kind of tenses up, and you realize you can't quite get a foot up quickly. You lower yourself back down, and that's when a sort of light shower of splinters comes down, landing on your shoulders and your hair. Again, the voice of Jot just appearing next to you. Yeah, perhaps one too many. I mean,
You think, Jut? You think one too many?
it did the job.
I feel like one was too many. What?
Yeah.
I could have leapt off the balcony without this.
Oh, I know, but I had to cover my tracks. And I mean, Thunderwave is such a cool spell. Anyway, so up and over.
Yeah, it's the plan. And then leg it.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna distract him because he might look this way, and he points over to the guard as you turn back. Jot is no longer in his usual form, but he is now a ferret. And he just leaps off from the top of the wall, shimmies through the grass, and as the guard's like trying to recover himself and like pick up his sword, this ferret just leaps up onto his arm and shoulder. He just looks at it with alarm and just doesn't know what to do with it. He suddenly shoots up the guy's sleeve and like up inside his garb, and he's like, what's and just out the back of his shirt and onto the ground. He escapes the guard, not sure whether this thing is still inside him or not. But it's sufficient enough time for you to make yourself another roll.
Ew.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that's cool. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I can have
okay.
my.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of something else I could do, but
Okay.
I'll save that.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. You've got a moment of time.
That's a 13 this time.
Is that with advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be enough. You you re-find your footing. You quickly roll yourself over the wall, and as you land on the other side, we go to Eno, who is just opening their eyes to a scene of dust and debris.
Sorry,
It's all good, mate.
you don't
Do I
need,
see
you don't need
two guards
a
in front of me?
concentration check or anything, do you?
These two dudes on the ground, prone, unconscious.
Okay, how much destruction is around me? Because it's only 2 damage. Is it just like mild splintering, or is it like the floorboards are almost?
For you, yeah, you've just got a few nicks, like a few little splinters have punched into your face. You didn't so much take damage from the impact, more what's the word? Shrapnel that just happened to clip you. These two dudes pretty much took the grunt of the blow. As you kind of pace and step around, it doesn't seem like the building itself was affected. The structural integrity still seems to hold fast.
Okay. There is a downside to disguise self I've just been reading about. It doesn't
Oh, yeah?
allow water, dust, burns or acid damage to show through the illusion, so I'm pure clean.
Does that mean that your exterior self is covered? Like
No,
the
my body is covered in dust and is like fully splintered and
but
my
but you're
yeah
invisible.
Your
You and that are
visage.
invisible, and the rest is
the rest
okay.
is showing as clean. So I will get to my feet, kind of stumble and grab the chandelier and just hold myself for a second to let the ears stop ringing. And I'll walk over to the two guards and help one up. Can I check to see if he's all right or?
Sure, medicine.
Cool. I'll just get two of my sausage fingers and just checked for a pulse. And as I lean him up to see if he's breathing.
One of the guard that was right in front of the door, was not. You realize that there is actually a huge chunk of wood, embedded like right where his kidney would be, sort of in his side, and he doesn't seem to be breathing. The other one is very weak pulse. You can see he's got a large sort of bruising on the side of his jaw. His jaw and everything's all red. It looks like it's probably dislocated. It seems like the first guard kind of got blown back and impacted into him.
Ooh, well, at least they didn't spear on the same piece of wood. That would have been bad. I will spare the dying on one if I can, and the one with the wood going through his chest, and I will healing words the cure wounds the other one. Oh, sorry, healing words the other because I need to use a bonus action.
Okay.
So I'll stabilize one and roll a d4 for this guy.
Okay.
Hey, that's not too bad. He gained 7 hit points.
Okay. So the guy who's unconscious with the broken jaw just kind of. And he just begins groaning in pain. The other one suddenly joining the groan as you see him just gasp to life, but like immediately cough up a huge spattering of blood. He still has this physical trauma from this chunk of wood in his side.
Yep. I will call downstairs and say, "We need help up here. 2 down." Just I will forget Barnabas and literally say to one, just pick him up by the scruff of his neck and just lay him up against the wood and just say, "Your jaw is broken. Do not move. Don't speak. Just stay right there." And I will pick up the other guy that has the wooden chip and I will just rush downstairs.
Okay.
Being careful with him.
Sure.
We're meant to be escaping.
Yeah. Also, how long has it been since I cast Disguise Self? Because it lasts an hour.
Not an
And
hour.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. This is bad. Also with my illusion, my
I'm gonna
arms
say
are
45
up,
minutes.
so I would be holding him around shoulder height with my guard form, and
Alright.
I'll be crutching him in about my midsection
Okay.
of my real form.
All right. Let's go back to Tabos.
Right. So everyone's milling in the street, running around. Like, there's no. Where did Barnabas end up? Did he end up near me at all, or no?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
No, you'd be approaching from. I'm pretty sure you headed off northish.
Yeah, I headed up over the north wall.
Yeah. So I'd say that you would have headed up over this north wall, ran down this alleyway, made yourself into this sort of long street, and maybe there's a park up here that you would have found yourself at.
Just like I'm just kind of I'm just kind of trying to wait to see how it all unfolds and then react.
Okay. Well, you rejoin a couple of other curious folk and sort of slip into their crowd as best you can. More City Watch sort of not patrolling, racing down the street past you. Make way, make way, make way. In a kerfuffle as they begin to set up a perimeter in the street around, trying to do some crowd control and keep people a certain distance away. So from where you are, you'd be able to see. So you're kind of on the western side. Barnabas has jumped the eastern wall. So right now you can only see the building.
Okay.
The window's mostly blown out. Other than that, nothing's ablaze. Nothing seems out of whack.
Well, yeah. I'm just gonna just sit and watch for the moment, then kind of make a plan.
Okay.
Because Tavos doesn't know the city. I just arrived, so.
Okay. You watch and wait. Caleb.
I actually just gonna ask one more question. What time of the
Sure.
day is it?
Morning, right?
It's getting on. We're gonna say 11:30.
Okay, so yes, I've got plenty of time. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Actually, that wouldn't work. I'd
'Cause
say
we can't-
10ish.
Yeah,
Because you left dawn.
We left dawn.
The painter wanted to capture you with the sunrise.
Yeah, for a
It
few
took us
So
about an hour and a half
sunrise,
to get there.
yeah. So if you got there at dawn, you'd be there like 7 o'clock latest. If you cast the spell, it's probably only 8:30.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I got most of the day.
Yeah.
That's how long my permit lasts.
Yeah. All right. Caleb.
Kellen, you tell me, where's Kellen?
So you would have made your way to. Well, it just so happens the temples are not too far away from the Manorborn district.
Mm-hmm.
So you have got a few choices in terms of where you may go to consult with yourself and your higher order. Would you say you go to a particular church of your deity, or are we looking for a one-stop shop?
Yeah, I would be looking to go specifically to
your trainer,
to the Temple of Ilmater.
Okay, sure. Let me just look up this building that I know about. That's not the high hall I'm thinking of. Okay. So you do find yourself at the steps of this church.
Yep.
Dedicated to Ilmater, a statue of a weeping angel, not a Doctor Who weeping angel, but the statue of effectively a weeping angel, a creature with its arms outstretched, with tears running down its face, stands before you. You make your way up the steps, and
don't blink, Caleb.
And it seems all kind of eerily calm at the moment.
Cool. So as I walk up the steps, I will bound my hands in such a gesture, palm to palm, making the sign of bound hands, which is a symbol of Ilmater as I walk into the temple, and sort of bow my head in a moment of respect, and I'll enter the temple. What do I see?
Okay, as you pace in, there is the the sort of primary cathedral room. What would that be called? Where there's all the pews and stuff. So yeah,
Pews and shit.
yeah, pews and shit. As you
Pew
kind
room.
of rows of pews. As you step in, you realize that it's not a particularly grand hall, but you do see sort of
nave.
pillars. Yeah, a nave. That's what it's called.
Nave. The interior church doors open up to the nave or main room of the Catholic Church.
There you
All right.
go.
Well, there you go. So yeah, beautiful carved pillars lead up to a high ceiling. A very simplistic representation of the bound hands. This time, the bound hands belonging to that weeping angel. So instead of the welcoming open arms, it is the accepted binding. That the crying God expects. So yeah, you as you kind of walk down, there's a few people in a bit of a discussion. It's not as quiet as you would expect it to be. People saying, "Oh, I heard that there was some disaster down the road. I think it is time that we perhaps prove our worth and should we not go and help them?" It's just a bit of a discussion. We hear various people overhearing. Very simple, sort of large arched windows, not super intricate like stained glass or anything, but just beautiful, clean, simple designs. A high domed ceiling with intricate geometry and mosaic representations. But other than that, a member of the clergy kind of walks over to you. I'm sorry, my son. Can I help you this day?
Oh, I'm Caleb. I don't know if we've met before. I'm looking for Master Ebonshield. I was wondering if he were here.
The master is here. I'm sorry, I am relatively new here. I've just come to this particular church.
Are you among the refugees?
I am, in fact. What do you know of
It seemed like
that?
an on-the-spot decision there, Jared.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am, in fact. Have you heard any word of the city of Elturel?
Limited, I'm afraid. I know refugees have been pouring in since the early hours of the morning. Something significant's befallen you.
Yes, I've come and brought a few of my flock with me. But I can tell you only that there was a sudden darkness, a flash of light, motes of hellfire began raining down. I was in the middle of a service and we brought a few people here. I was just wondering if you had sort of trailed in. You say you're from this city, from Boulders?
Yes, born and raised.
Okay. Well, we could do with support if you're willing.
I'm sure the church Oil Matter will give all the assistance they can to you and the other refugees, but I must apologise. I really must find Sir Igerbrick Ebonshield. Where was he?
I believe he's discussing matters of the fall of Elturel and such with some of the other priests and members. Your name, sorry, Mr.
Time. Caleb.
Mr. Caleb Time. Pardon me for a moment. I will retrieve him. I'll do my best to. Perhaps you may say a prayer for us in the meantime.
Perhaps I will. And in Kael'm's head, he doesn't really pray, so he's like, nope.
Yeah, nah. Okay. With that, he bows, clasps hands in front of you, and walks away.
Great. I'm gonna head. So is what's the layout of the church? So it's quite a basic interior. So what's the place they'd be meeting? Is there a back room or an upstairs or something?
Yeah, so I imagine you kind of come into a hall. You do know that there's like a balcony. You can see clearly that there's a balcony around you. So there is a sort of secondary level, and you would have been led through some of the more private areas. So you know that there is sort of in the back corner as you go out through a set of double doors, at a tower, a stairwell up a tower that leads up to that floor, and that's usually where some of the private meetings happen. He seems to have gone off to one of the sort of larger rooms off to the side where sort of preparations for bigger events might occur. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm just going to head straight upstairs to where I think Sir Igabrick would be. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know that his like private living quarters and stuff would be up there as well. So if he's up there, that's where he would be.
Great. Let's do that.
All right. Back to Barnabas.
Barnabas is, I think, going to run north. I don't want to go directly out onto the streets just yet. So north ways, and then I'm going to cut across the final buildings.
Okay. Yeah, you are probably going to need a few.
And I run 80 feet around at the moment.
All right.
Well,
You're a fast boy. Okay,
for a minute, it's probably been like 40 seconds. Or
so by the time you're in by the time you're in the property next door, it's almost a straight run to the northern street there. It kind of crosses your way. How far north did you want to go? Like a block or two, or
just one block, and then I was maybe two, and then just cut across to the east. And then I want to try and sneakily get back out onto the street.
Okay. So yeah, pretty much as soon as you're out the other side, if you head to the east, you're only a building or so away from a crossroads, and you can head back down a road down south to the road that you approached from originally. You're now kind of getting your bearings. You can see where you are. You would have approached from this side early in the morning. Looks a little different because obviously there's suddenly just like a flood of people out on the street. There's a whole bunch of people coming down, and it just looks a little bit different in the now well lit area. But yeah, you slowly make your way down. You make your way downstairs with this injured guard. As you come downstairs, there's just still all of this dust and debris on the ground and in the air. A confusion as this guard is kind of barking orders and indicating, barking out. Is anyone still inside? You boys.
Hi, Captain. There are people still in. Yes. To make it easy, Eno's going to be running backwards and forwards, ignoring the captain, and just making his presence heard with his feet as he's just striking along, carefully placing people down the floor, spare the dying, and then just rushing upstairs, checking downstairs, and just you can gloss over me if you want.
Okay.
Just calling out.
Yeah. So you sort of daisy chain. It's not the right word. You do a lap back and forth, retrieving these guys, bringing them out, dumping them on the grass, as expertly as you can. To everyone else, just sort of not wanting to interfere, you seem to have just like summoned this adrenaline fueled unnatural strength for a man that you're appearing to, for the stature of the man you're appearing to represent. nobody seems to question the strange position that they find on your bodies. As you kind of bring them out and dump them down, the captain sort of glances up at you. He's like, son, take a breath. Is that everyone?
I do not know, Captain. I know that there are more downstairs. Let me go and check. And Jared, can I ask you to roll a d4?
Oh boy. Here we go. 1. Yes.
His body starts to lengthen in size, but he's still maintaining his guard form. It's slowly starting to wear off.
The captain kind of was very very concerned about you, and just kind of like, yeah, he's got his hand on your shoulder, and then it's almost as if you like expand into it, because he now looks up and he realizes what he's touching is not what's physically in front of him. Yeah. Yet your form just suddenly like looks up and he's like, oh, I didn't go. He's thinking to himself, I didn't think I got affected by any of those, by the blast. Anyway, and he just pats you on the back and says, go.
Yeah, my legs are still short, but my arms are starting to get there properly.
Okay. Tavos.
Right. So, I just see guards running around at this point, right?
One mutant. But
It's
yeah.
all a little bit under control at this stage. They're keeping enough of a perimeter that it's actually kind of hard to see what's actually happening out the front of the house. You can still see like the secondary floor. Like I said, the window's blown out. It's hard to actually tell what's happening on like ground level though, because you're kind of like, there's still a perimeter that these City Watch are keeping the public at bay.
I guess I'd like, if I can only see guards, can see no sign of anyone else. Like, my guy's not dumb enough to stay.
Sure.
I'm just gonna start heading back to the orphanage because that's all I know.
All right.
Like, because if there's guards just flooding in and putting up a perimeter and stuff, I'm just sitting duck.
Okay.
Here.
Roll a perception check. Barnabas, roll me a perception check.
Perception. Okay, mine's a 16.
Okay.
12.
Tavos, you do one sort of last scan. You check down. You try and have another look kind of over the wall. You check down the street. And that's when you notice in the distance Barnabas sort of keeping step with a small crowd of people as well. About 120 feet away.
Can I, like, Kath and Kim, like, briskly walk up?
I thought you were gonna. Yeah, okay. No, we're not gonna go where I thought that was gonna go.
Understand the story.
So many jokes.
Oh god,
it's very Australian.
Yeah. If you didn't know that this was an Aussie stream, you sure do now. So okay, yeah, you move as swiftly as you feel as remaining unsuspicious.
God, if only you had a spell for communicating.
Yeah, wouldn't that be just super convenient?
Well, I just forgot that I had it.
No, but he has to point in the direction that he thinks you are.
But I can see him.
He can see him.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
But he's further than 120 feet away, isn't he?
I said he's 120 feet away.
Can I use message?
I'm sorry.
That's right, guys. We here at GMC, we know what we're doing. Yes, you can.
All right, I'm just gonna, full Professor X, just like mind Lincoln's just say, keep walking. I'll meet you at the orphanage.
We do a little jowl thing, and then I just now kind of mechanically start walking. The walk becomes a lot less natural.
All right.
And I'm just gonna like follow him from afar, kind of thing.
All right. Lovely.
Gonna go giant spider on him.
Yeah,
All right.
I just turn normal spider and like crawl down his shirt.
Oh, I can respond
Yeah,
to your
better.
message, can't I?
Yeah, so you
Yes.
responded with
Yeah.
We've lost our chance for shopping again, Thomas.
We'll get it another day. Don't worry. We'll be back.
You said it again.
Yeah, said it again.
Which I can respond to. That's all right. I'll leave it there.
Okay.
damn.
Oh, and can reply. Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So message works.
You can reply
Okay.
to this message.
All right. So you guys reconvene, somehow escaping this whole kerfuffle, and finding each other like soulmates. Back to Calum. You find yourself at the top of the spire.
Calum's not
Step-
here.
He's
I
currently.
know that.
Yeah.
I know where Calum is. Do you know where Calum is? Does Calum know where Calum is?
Oh. Probably not.
Calum doesn't know where Calum is. Calum finds his way to the top of the spire and begins pacing down the corridor to where he believes Mr. Sir Ebonshield is. And what he hears will be revealed to him when he returns. Potty break is probably correct. In that case, we'll go back to Eno. You said you were headed downstairs.
Yeah, I remember that the guard was saying that there is my doppelganger of Norris, I think it was, or Andre, one of the guards.
What of?
One of the dozens of names I've used.
Norris and Andre,
so,
yeah. But which
Yeah.
one, we don't know.
So my giant half mutant form of him will come down the stairs, just like and just ask quickly, "Is anyone alive? Anyone need help? Anyone down here?" And just running down the room, not stealthing anything, just making sure that everyone's all right.
There is a very faint groan as you make your way down.
Okay. I don't know where the floor is on the thing.
Down.
Okay, I'll drag my dude. Oh wait, no, never mind. Alrighty. I will run in. Where do I hear the groan coming from?
From here.
Sweet. I will
You
make my
see-
way.
You see this man leant up against the barrels on the wall. He's kind of got a knee bent, and he kind of hears you coming down and just tries to make a bit of a groan, and then you see the leg kind of kick out in the dirt. Whatever the eruptions were around him seems to have startled him from his unconscious state. And as you approach, you see this man just sort of with his eyes closed and dust on his face and cheeks, and
This is one of the guards or one of the
No.
thieves?
he's one of the thieves.
Oh.
And he looks up to you through crusted eyes. Give me a hand, please.
Well, do not worry, friend. We will give you a hand, and I will walk over. What is your name? And I just like reach out and slowly, gingerly pick him up.
I thought you were
And
going to
then-
be like, nice, lean over and wear him as a puppet. Here's my hand, motherfucker.
Yeah, like Game of Thrones, like pull him into your sword sort of thing.
No,
yeah,
I don't think he
you
knows
see
like
him
that.
sort of. Yeah, you see him sort of reach up to you. You can see that there's a bit of blood that's like spilled down his arm from a mysterious wound somewhere, and yeah, he just reaches up to you and just weakly sort of whispers, "My name is Cascum."
Caskim. Well, do not worry, mate. We will get you to attention.
Please.
Is that CASKIM or
KASKIM?
Sweet.
For all of you following at home.
Just kill him quick.
He's not gonna kill him. He's just written down his name.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Whatever I have in my bag, I don't think I have a healer's kit yet, but that is one of the things I plan to do. So, does he have any bleeding or anything on him in regards
yeah,
to
he's-
like open wounds?
I mean, yeah, you
Yeah,
see
he's-
blood dripping down his arm.
Okay, can I
It's all
try and
kind of like thickened from dust and stuff now, but he's obviously got a wound somewhere.
Cool. Realizing that I have no cloth on me, I will take out my dagger and stab into his leg and make sure that I drag some cloth off so that I'm cutting some of his pants so I can use it as a what is it?
Tourniquet.
Tourniquet. Yeah.
So you're not driving the dagger into his thigh, like
So you're
you
not
made it sound.
stabbing his leg.
Just
You're
what I was
delicately
thinking.
removing a section of his. Okay.
Yeah.
He seems to
We
be
will
wearing
get
like
your
a
help.
long. He seems to be wearing a sort of
Trust me, I'm a
long
doctor.
coat.
Ugh. Sorry, Jared, you go.
He seems to be wearing some kind of a like robish coat that you feel is
Oh.
probably a little more
Oh, yeah,
appropriate than that.
And then the coat.
So you pull a chunk out from underneath him, cut yourself a strip, rip it down, and yeah, he looks up at you. He's like, "Oh, please, just it would be easier if you just killed me now."
True, but that means that you are dead, and the living still have need of you yet.
Oh,
And
you're such an innocent one, aren't you?
I've been told that many a time. Even my Dulagar friends think I am that out of an asshole that I should be killed. But, and I'll just kill him up over my shoulder. You are different. Do you know of a back gate? If the guards catch you, they will kill you.
My friend, if they don't kill me, the guild will kill me. It is simply inevitable. So, I ask that you make it quick. Because my alternatives are not bright.
Quick and painless?
I would do it myself. But I have no strength.
Do you have a
My-
weapon?
I have a wand. In my
Oh,
in my belt.
okay. I'll pick it up.
And you feel around at his belt, and it's not there, but you kind of look around and you realize he actually dropped it. Please just quickly.
Okay.
It will be
I
over
will.
very fast.
Alright. I will lean down, my face very somber. By the words of the Rao Fire Cloak, I release you to the flame, and I grab my dagger and sink it into his side.
Ooh,
Of his neck.
Eno.
And I disconnect the plug at the spine.
Oh yes,
love it.
yeah,
I love it.
Oh,
nice reference.
I love it.
So
Okay.
yeah, I will close his eyes, grab his cloak, and just place it over his head, and just make sure that he's resting. Give him a mug of ale
Yeah.
if there's anyone down here, and I will just somberly go about my work.
Okay. At this point, you hear footsteps towards
I
where you
grab-
came in. Is
Okay,
there-
well then I'll quickly grab the wand.
Is there anyone else down there? No, Norris, are you all right?
I think Norris is dead. I am looking.
No.
Oh
Roll
shit,
a
was that the guy?
deception-
I'm the-
Norris.
I said
Roll a
it. I said
deception
it.
check.
Is that with disadvantage? Because I
You better
mentioned my.
loot that body, Norris. Norris is dead.
two threes.
I
Oh,
am
wait.
Norris now.
Someone's killed Norris! Send back up! And you hear a sword being drawn as this man like pushes open the door, and a guard just appears, comes rushing down the stairs.
Are you injured, my friend, or are we looking for your other guards?
He like looks up at your stature, and he's like, "What?
Oh man.
What is this trickery? What's? You're not noticed."
No, I'm not, but it just helps me peer into public, and I'll just peel it off like skin. And just pop it and just, my name is Eno Idosipi Son Lever, but at the moment you are in need of help.
Demon, don't you say your incantations to me.
Demon? I'm stating my name.
He's just a bit lost for words at the minute, and then you hear more footsteps approaching from behind, scuffing in the gravel.
I'll turn around him with my hands up. I am unarmed. My dagger is currently in that man's throat because he wanted to be killed. But at the same time, I remember hearing guards coming down when I was stationed out front. Do you have anyone down here that needs assistance? I can heal.
You stay where you are.
I will,
mister.
Just go and make sure that your friends over there are still doing.
You've done enough. You don't move. More guards approach and filter into the room.
I will get down on my knees, hands behind my head, just general social position, and just drop my mace by my side before I do any of that.
All right. One of them kicks your mace aside. The other two come over and don't resist. I've caught you, you hooligan.
I look out at him, currently showing signs of no resistance, and just kind of raise my eyebrow. I guess I'm level with him in regards to height, even when on my knees.
So, yeah, like on your knees, you're pretty much the same height as these guys. As they go around to the side of you, you feel a sharp pain in your ribs, as one of them has taken a cheap shot at you and just kneed you in the ribs.
Oh.
Don't resist, we said. And then they fasten shackles to your hands behind your back. He's like, "All right, mate, on your feet."
Do they fit, or am I like on the bare like latch, almost like?
Yeah, like they've pretty much had to squeeze your hands in. They're very uncomfortable.
Okay. Well, before my blood gives out, just remember, I told your friend over there, I have access to spells that can heal you. I've just been
no more magic for you, son. You're the one that's probably gone and blown this place blown this plate to smithereens. Where's Norris? What you done with him? You know what? Save it. You'll have words with the captain. And they start escorting you upstairs.
Okay. These are City Guard, not Flaming Fist, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Back to Caleb. You made your way up the spire.
Sure did.
Started walking along one of the balconies. And not necessarily one of the balconies, but like one of the backroom corridors that would have led off to the balconies at the sides. And you hear two voices down the end of the corridor. One of them, familiar, being Sir Ebenshire.
I will walk towards the voices, so is this behind a door, or is this just in the distance a bit?
In the distance, around the corner, somewhere down that corridor.
Cool. So I'm just going to walk just into sort of vision sight, and then just sort of stand, head down a little bit, just waiting politely.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Sir Ebenshield's talking to a man that you don't recognize, not the man that you had just spoken to, but another gentleman who doesn't appear to be a member of the clergy at all. But Sir Ebenshield looks up, acknowledges you, just seamlessly continues his conversation, as if to just acknowledge you, but to pay respect to who he's speaking to. Before you see a tall, dark-skinned man, slightly graying, He's aged well. Some might even say a silver fox, but with like this dark tanned leather skin, and you can see just sort of these thin strips of robe adorned with sashes over a sort of a copper brass colored suit of armor, and then a red belt indicative of his order, the binding ropes of Ilmater. A long sword at his side, a mace on the other. He doesn't seem ready for combat, but he's prepared as always. And you sort of catch the tail end of the conversation, and he respectfully puts a hand on this other man's shoulder. He says, "Thank you, Miradam, for coming to me. It's it is some difficult time we find ourselves in. So fear not. You have our support." And the man clutches forearm and forearm, sort of embrace, and they both pat each other on the shoulder, and he heads off down some corridor. And Egerbrick stares over to you, squares you up, and then a cheeky smile begins to spread across his face. "How are you, my lad? It's been too long."
I don't return the smile, which might be an indicator to him that I'm a little miffed. Sir Egerbrick, could we talk in private for a moment?
Always. Never a problem. My quarters then.
After you.
And strides only a door down, opens up, and you both follow in. And with a latch, the door closes, and he pulls out a chair. "A drink. For old time's sake."
Yes. Please. And I'll just sort of recline in the chair, head in hand a little bit.
Opens a drawer, pulls out a sort of like one of those kind of wide-bottomed wine bottles with sort of like the rope wrapping around the bottom, and you hear a cork pop open, and he just hands you the bottle.
Very gracious. Are you sure we're supposed to be drinking?
It's one of those times. It's just one of those times. Would he call you by Caleb? Or
Probably. I think that's the name I go by.
All right.
Yeah, whole world's gone to hell. What's news with all the refugees? I'd heard there's been some catastrophe.
There is a rather spectacular disaster, yes. I'm afraid we've lost an entire city. It's as simple as that. El Trudel vanished. Physically, no longer in this plane. That's what's happened.
Timor has left tit. How?
It's
You can't
purely,
say that in a church.
It's purely speculation at this point, and
Drinking and swearing, this is how we roll, okay?
I'll remind you, Caleb, not to go too far with that behavior. Not out there, anyway.
As
Look.
you say that, you know how you've been saying for the longest time that I'm going to get into serious trouble one day?
I see that every time we meet.
I suspect today might be that day.
Is that so?
I may have had a little run-in with the guild.
How directly are we talking here?
And I just pull one of my swords out, which has still got a bit of blood in it, and I say, directly enough that I've still got one of them on my blade. And I take a big swig.
Can we... Oh, I knew it was going to be trouble. Look, this is going to be problematic. You know that.
I understand. I was just thinking that maybe at this stage, maybe if I took my oath properly and joined the order officially, maybe we could just move past.
It's almost too late for that, Caleb. It's I've offered many times. The opportunity has always been there, and somehow I just knew it was going to be a dire situation that finally led you to commitment. However, I feel like it's just not enough. You haven't proven commitment.
I understand, but if I can't join, if I can't get some sort of protection, it's not just me they're coming after. I've got a place now, the orphanage.
His head falls in his head falls in his hands, and he's like, so they know who you are. Okay.
I just thought there might be something you can do.
There is, Caleb, but as you
Eno was there as well.
Is he all right?
He orchestrated the whole thing, so far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Caleb, I told you to never lie to me. Why are you starting now?
There's lies and there's exaggerations. We were in it together. There were two others as well. This pompous sort of fat gentleman called Barnabas, and this even more pompous elf. I forget his name. He's forgettable.
So they're all wrapped up in this then. Okay.
Look, they were after something that piqued my interest, something I thought I'd better look into. They were after a book.
A book?
Something sinister. I couldn't get much information about it.
So you're going around just making friends and then dragging them down into the gutter with you. That's just swell, Caleb. And now you're telling me that you've dragged them so far down into the thick of it that you need me and the Order to clean you off, dress you in a new... you can't polish a turd, Caleb. I've told you this many times.
I understand. I've always been a little bit wild, but have I not given years and years of my time to the church, to good deeds? A day, a week, every week.
You've walked the path. You've walked the path. I cannot deny that you've walked the path. I agree. But right now, with the panic that's set in, the rumors that are spreading, it's just a cocktail for disaster, all right? Out in the streets, I honestly, I feel like the guild are going to be taking opportunity here, and you're probably the least of their worries. Sure, you've crossed them, you've killed them, and you know they don't forget that kind of thing. But depending on whose territory it was that this occurred in, things might happen a little slower. So you've got time, okay? Time to make an example for yourself and undo what you've done here. If you can manage that, you can make a start. I'll be behind you. But until then, there's more pressing matters. We've got refugees coming in, and I've had word of some individuals who will be arriving, other individuals like yourself, who have sworn to protect El Chirel, and they are going to need me and my resources more, because when they get here, they're not going to be welcomed. They've been wrongly accused. At least that's what I've heard. So I've got a whole world of hurt, and I've got a whole city to think about. I have to meet with other heads of other churches, temples. I have to be
I'm
at
just
High
asking
Hall later today.
for one thing, for on one occasion, for the church to have my back, to help me and the orphanage, the kids, get out of potential.
What do you want,
potential
Caleb? Let's just put it out then. What do you need? What are you asking of me?
protection from the guild for us.
So we'll just shelter you up in here. We'll just put you up when there's literally people who have lost their families, their entire city, their whole world in existence is not under threat. It's gone, Caleb. They're going to be coming by the hundreds. I can't right now, Caleb. I'm sorry. And with that, he kind of leans forward and he extends a hand, sort of beckoning for the wine.
I take a swig and then hand it over.
He sort of looks at the bottle for a minute. He thinks, takes a swig of his own. I'll tell you what. I can give you an opportunity to help yourself. There are those that, as you understand, there are other factions in the city that don't get along with the guild. And while I can't offer you protection directly, I can put in a good word. And if you're willing to work with them and do something else for me at the same time, that will give you... The Flaming Fist need men right now.
The Flaming Fist by the cock of Lathander.
I know. I know. Worst of the worst. Some say worst of the guild. More organized then. But it's come to my attention that they have lost leadership right now. So things are a little Wild West. So, like I said, there are certain individuals arriving from El Chirel who are going to need safe passage in. And if they contact you, you're going to need to be in the right place at the right time to let them in. All while doing whatever the Flaming Fist ask of you. And I know it's not going to be pleasant, it's not going to be ideal, but you wear that badge, you wear that uniform, firstly, you're not going to look like you. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But secondly, you've got a whole bunch of people who are going to watch your back regardless.
Sorry.
So the guild are less likely to mess with you. You know they don't mess with them directly. Of course, there's constantly blood on the streets because of the two of them. But that's beside the point. They've never come after the Flaming Fist directly.
It's the mess I've made. If this is the way out, will you give some protection to the orphanage?
That I cannot say no to, Caleb. Because they, despite your influence, are for the most part innocent. And they don't deserve to suffer for your mistakes. So that I will do. They will be under my protection. But if you show your face there, if you attract any attention there, then everything I do is for nothing.
I think time has come for me to cut ties with them.
All right, then. I feel like that's the case too. You've done a lot for them. In your own weird way.
If you see Mary Lou, you'll give her my best wishes.
I will. I will. So, if that's the case, I need you to meet with a man named Captain Zodge. I will inform him that you're coming. I have promised him recruits. So if you and your friends want protection, I feel like joining the Flaming Fist might be your only option.
I'll need to meet up with them again. The only place they know is the orphanage. Would you send a brother there to redirect
I will
them?
So you've lost contact with them. Kill.
It's been a
As
chaotic day.
As always, a one-man army you are. One-man army. Look, I will send word ahead of you.
Well, hold on. I always thought that was a compliment.
It is until now. I will send word ahead of you. But I have to meet with other members of other churches right now. I have a meeting at the High Temple in about an hour. I have to get ready. So I'm going to have to send you on your way, Caleb. Godspeed. May Ilmeta be watching.
Thank you for all you've done.
She
Thank
is
you for your
watching.
training.
She is watching and she weeps for you.
Well,
Not in sadness.
I haven't seen her yet, but
You will. You will. You do the right thing, follow the path. She will come to you in her own unique way. As she does for all of us. I've given you the training. You know the skills. But this time, unfortunately, you may have to use them all. So be prepared, watch your back. Troubling times ahead for all.
and with that, I give him a nod and stand up from my chair and walk into the door. I look back one last time and then leave the room. With my sword, I didn't leave it there.
Okay. All right.
Nice one.
That was sick. All right. Where are we going now?
How about a tea break?
I think a tea break is a fantastic idea. Yeah. We're going to do a 10-minute tea break.
Rum and coke.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. I hope that was as interesting to watch as it was for me to roleplay. Never a dull moment with Fitz.
It's pretty sick.
It's pretty good. Yeah, okay. We will be back momentarily. Don't go anywhere.
So
Alrighty, and we're back. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. We are just waiting on two of our players still, but that's fine because we can go off to
Mr. Eno.
yeah, we can just go back to Eno, I guess, which doesn't break anything. Breaking the timeline. Anyway, let's go to Eno, where he is now being escorted by Trey Guard through these boiks, and you're effectively being put to your knees in front of the captain.
It is good to see you again, Captain. I may look a little bit different after I carried you men out.
What do you mean? I don't know you.
No, and me you. But at the same time, I was the one who carried the men downstairs. If there are any more, let me know. I can stabilize them at least.
I must have hit my head. I must have been affected by that blast, because you're telling me that your giant furry ass carried my men out here. No, Captain. He's the one who's gone and killed Norris. Isn't that so?
Oh dear.
Is what my man says true, Furbog?
No, I was taking the form of Norris. I saw him earlier walking down the street, so he looked like a good person to
Right.
hide myself with. I kind of stick out a little bit, so
So
I
what,
thought
you possessed him? What?
Oh no,
What
no,
kind of
no!
illicit
It is
magic have you been doing? And why? Why would you need to impersonate a guard? You know that all of these are offences that are punishable by jail time. Murdering a guard, well, that's punishable by death.
I have not murdered anyone, sir. Literally, if you go downstairs, you will only find my dagger and a thief down there that wishes to
Oh,
end
he's a thief, is
peacefully
he?
or quickly.
And you're not a thief. How am I supposed to tell the difference between a man with a dagger in his neck and you?
Or he looks
right
sneaky.
now-
I look sneaky.
You've already told me that you've gone and impersonated a guard. So, quite frankly, I'm less likely to trust you right off the gate.
I do not mind if you do not trust me, but if you wish to save any of your men, let me use my magic and I can at least stabilize them if they are dying.
We don't need your help, mate.
It is offered if you need it. And I just
Yeah, well,
relax in my chains.
look, I'll be asking the questions from here on out, okay? Because
Okay,
quite frankly, this whole thing, I don't believe that you've done any of it. You couldn't have done it.
I do
Not
not
by-
even know what happened.
Not by
I
yourself,
rushed
at
in
least.
when someone said that there were thieves in the house, and
You rushed in.
I came in to help. And what I found upstairs was nothing. We found them downstairs. I
Yes,
took the
boys,
form
we're
of a
back.
guard to try and scare
Oh,
them.
yeah. Look, I don't care what story, what yard you want to tell me. You didn't do this alone. So where are your friends?
That
We're
is
back.
what I am looking for. I do not know if they're in the house yet. Have you
Right.
seen them? There is one man in a robe.
Quite
not the
frankly,
one with the dagger in his
I
hand.
can't believe that anyone standing here isn't one of your accomplices. How do I know? And he starts pointing at the guards holding you. How do I know that any of you blokes aren't one of his friends? Huh? How do I know that I can trust any of yous? Right?
Well-
Quite frankly, anyone inside these walls is all under suspicion, as of now.
I'm gonna. Eno's face is gonna get a little bit stern. Captain, these are your men. You know them better than that.
Yeah, and I
For
knew
you to
Norris,
see them as
but apparently he's dead. I don't know where he is. Haven't seen him all day. At least I thought he was someone doing good. Now you're telling me that you're bringing his men down. I don't know what's happening.
Nonetheless
Right.
is still alive, as far as I can tell. I only took the form for an hour. It is temporary, much like much of my magic. Most of it is gone.
I don't want to hear it. You talk too much, all right? You got a bloody big mouth on you.
Thank you.
Goddamn know how to use it.
But
All right.
can I ask
No
one
one
other
move.
question?
No more questions.
For
This
the
is
life
it.
of one of your men, please listen. There is one with a broken jaw upstairs. I was able to bring one down, not the other. Could you please bring him down and make sure that he was not the one with the stick inside
All right,
his gut.
shut it.
Him over there.
He grabs the nearest guard by the scruff of his neck, looks into his eyes. He's like, I don't care if you are who you say you are. You were going to go get that man, bring him down here, right? You understand? I don't care if you're working for him, working for anyone else. I don't give a shit. You're going to go get that man, bring him down here, and mind his jaw. He just like throws the man back. And he goes over, he walks over to the gate, and he just kind of like puts a finger out to like hush you up. He's like, don't start. And he walks over to the gate, and he looks at the two guardsmen. He's like, all right, lock it up. You two inside. Everyone else out on the street. He whistles. And he says, attention, all city guard. No one in a guard's uniform or otherwise, including myself, is allowed to leave these gates. All right? You go get a magister, because we need magic detection here, ASAP. Is that understood? And a nearby lieutenant strides over, says, oh yeah, Captain. I'll go get magister right quick. Right. And
Captain, I would be able to help with that as well if need be.
He just like,
shut up.
He just leans his head against the bars of the gate, latches them shut. And then we cut to Tavos and Barnabas.
Oh, wow.
So, what are you guys doing?
I mean, we're probably
making my way downtown.
I guess you've
What?
caught up to me at this point.
Yeah.
Tavos,
Yeah, so you guys would have been a bit staggered for a little minute, but eventually meeting up. You said you guys were. Well, I guess you decide where you want to go now.
Tavos, they got a quick look at me in there. Not a good look, but a quick look. What do you think we should do?
Right. So should we go back to that inn where we met the gentleman, or should we go back to the orphanage, which is a ways out of town? And I don't trust that Caleb fellow anyway.
Oh, he seems affable enough. He looks after an orphanage. How bad could he be, Tavos?
Well, he kind of jumped and bailed.
I mean, we did as well.
Well, I hung around, was trying to look for you guys, and all I could
That's
just
very,
see him.
very sweet of you, Tavos. I do appreciate you looking out for me. Perhaps because they wouldn't know to look for us at the inn. Perhaps we go back to the orphanage.
All right.
And if there is a shop that we see on the way, because I don't know when we're going to come back here, perhaps we pop in for a moment. It's a big city. And they did only get a little look at me, not a big one. Also, there was another run-in with a devil, but I'll tell you about that in a moment.
All right. Well, that sounds quite fun. Did you sell your soul like I did?
No, I made a point not to. I also asked him how important names were, and he said very important, but he could be a little bit untrustworthy, who knows?
Right, so I might be in luck.
We might be okay.
Right, fingers crossed I tricked the devil.
Oh, he also blew up the house.
Oh, that makes sense.
A lot happened while I was upstairs.
Well, because you may have missed it, but the devil friend that I got kind of tore up some people.
Sorry?
I said you're unconscious, but he was running around tearing up some folks.
Oh, yes. I think you did give me little details on Sputkip. What was his name?
His name was
Pitkip.
Yes.
This one was called Jut.
Right, Jut. It's quite short names.
Yes. This one had a job as well. So to the orphanage then. And if we happen to see a shop that we like the look of, we'll quickly pop on in
Right.
and look at the... We don't know when we're going to come back here. The first time we came here, we were jostled away by Eno and Calum, and now we could be wanted criminals. I think this is the last chance we'll get to just maybe look into a bookshop, see if there are any knowledgeable things on the Nine Hells.
And it is quite early morning, so we've got the whole day. We can go to a tavern,
I wouldn't say
have
we
a
had
nice
the whole
drink.
day. They did get a little bit of a look at me.
Oh, did they?
I may be downplaying it a little because I would really like to look in a shop, but they did.
Okay.
I creaked open a door and a guard said, "Stop right there," and I'm sure he would have seen my purple robes.
All right, because I only I only got sore by a criminal of some kind. Maybe a big organization, but who knows? Like how organized this crime is in this city.
A criminal? You ran into criminals?
Yes, they're in the lower part of the house, and we ran around and killed a couple. And then this one got over the wall, and I was trying to chase him, but then he ran over an old man, and I helped him up.
That's great. I didn't hear any of that. The what a difference between the top level and the bottom level we've had. Well, I guess we go to the. All right. Well, let's make our way to the orphanage. If we go via that guard that let us in, Calum paid or Eno paid.
I
you
paid him quite handsomely.
To
he
let
seems
us
to be a
keep
fan of
our
me.
tokens, which would allow us to, should things calm down, go shopping again.
And maybe go to a fancy kind of inn and have some nice meals.
I would love to sample the food in Baldur's Gate and see, maybe not so much. The meal was lovely last night, but the upper district meals are much more appealing to me.
Yes, much more sustenance is the right word.
Yes, and flavor and sustenance is the right word. Onwards, back to the. I believe it was that way.
Yes, and we head back to the gate that we came in because we didn't know the other gates.
All right. On your way to said gate, you keep an eye out for some potential stores that you might want to peruse. And you do come across somewhat small, but still beautifully designed architecture, a little different to the work around it. But this beautiful stone building sits on one of the major streets, and you notice there is a beautifully painted sign out the front that says Greenwoods components, reagents, and magical enchantments. That seems to catch your eye.
That name one more time. I didn't. It was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Greenwoods. Components, reagents, and magical enchantments.
All right, you can watch the stream again later and just copy it down.
Yeah, just rewatch the whole stream. Just timestamp
really
it. Clip
it.
it.
Yeah.
Just clip it. Yeah, you notice a number of armed guards out the front. They look like private hire.
What do you say, Davos? Do we have time? We have time, don't we?
Well, if just a quick browse, like I can.
We have time for a quick browse. You're quite right.
Yes,
quite right.
Right,
I'll walk up to the guards. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Is the establishment open for business?
We are. We simply ask that you show us if you have any weapons on your persons.
All right.
Oh, I do. I have this short sword that I procured off some ragabonds who tried to mug me earlier yesterday. What do you? I've got a knife, but it's really just for cutting thread, so I wouldn't call that a weapon.
Right.
I'm carrying this scimitar, this shield, and this sling, if you count it as much of a weapon.
Oh, that's all right. We just ask that all weapons be inspected before entry. Would be a little silly to take them off you, as our employers do enchantments. So, yeah, please come on in.
That's what
Yeah,
I
we
was
just-
thinking. A establishment of worth should not be afraid of a blade.
No, it's just simply a matter of security. A lot of dangerous things coming and going. Just here to keep an eye on things, really.
Right.
Right. So,
May we pass?
Absolutely.
yeah. So we
Yeah.
pass.
Are these like two huge, burly-looking security guards? Is that?
No, not particularly. I mean, they look well dressed. They're wearing plate, not like full plate, half plate. Some greaves and stuff like that, and they just kind of look comfortable. You know, they found themselves a pretty cushy job, but they don't look lazy or too relaxed. But yeah, the door chimes with a magically enchanted melody that rings out into the room, and yeah, you see a few nobles, a few people. It's kind of like it's predominantly like a bookstore, but again, there's sort of like these plinths, these platforms with several different drawers and stuff. Some of them locked up for security, others behind sort of glass windows and stuff. Some exotic looking examples of different things, sort of like, you know, I don't know, like different stuffed heads and you know, shrunken heads and stuff like that, sort of a thing. So like kind of like some weird occultic sort of voodoo-ish kind of stuff, but also demonstrations of everlasting lamps and crystals and things like that around the room. So it's kind of a weird mix between sort of home remedies and voodoo and sort of high-end useful utility stuff. You know, you'd come here to get your light bulb replaced, kind of a thing. Upstairs, you notice it does have sort of like this sweeping staircase that leads upstairs. That appears to be a section of the store dedicated to books. There's a few people kind of milling around. You see a couple of sort of young looking nobles upstairs on the balcony, just chatting, looking down upon everyone. A few other people milling about, some older ladies who, you know, almost the cliche witch, a little bit wild hair, with a hooded robe and like a little basket covered up and just kind of walking around. But she seemed sweet enough. And a gnome and a sort of elderly human man seem to be just discussing things by the counter. The elderly man behind the counter. Yeah, just discussing something with a gnome who's standing on a wooden box.
Right. So, what kind of stuff are you after?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, any a scroll would be amazing. A book on the Nine Hells would be a real win. I mean, that might turn our day completely around.
So maybe we should ask if they've got anything.
I think asking is probably there seems to be a lot going on here, and we are quite pressed for time.
Right,
how much have you got, by the way? How much gold have you got?
I've only got 42 gold.
That's quite a lot. Isn't it? That's substantial amount. I've got about 17, maybe 18 on me.
Right.
I also have some components that I procured from our heist.
Right.
I don't think I picked up a few things thinking that we'd need to give this something to Xian Shun should we find the book that we were looking for, but
are they expensive at all?
I'm not sure.
Right. So maybe we just ask about the book first, and then
we'll see what they've
got. Yes.
got. And if we're short on funds, then perhaps we can offer a little trade into the mix.
Right. So
hope this seems like the kind of place that might be interested in the kind of things that I picked up.
Pardon me, gentlemen.
Yes.
No, you realize that you two have just been like standing in an aisle, discussing between yourselves, and this little old lady has come around. She's like, "I need to get into that drawer if you don't mind."
Oh, of course. Do you work here, madam?
No, I don't.
Oh, I see.
So I'm going to step aside and head towards the counter. Where?
I think we're already in the queue for the counter. Right?
No, where it's in an aisle.
Oh, we're in an aisle. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll head to the queue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unless there's like an attendant walking around or anything.
No, it seems to be pretty much like if you're here, you know what you're looking for, kind of a joint.
Okay, so it's not like Bunnings. Fireball,
No.
you said. Oh, well, that's done.
Right down there, top left. Doesn't have a label on it.
No, that'd be like locked up like the paint cans. It's like I'm gonna need some ID.
The spray paints.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you do walk down the aisle. You're pretty much like center aisle. Like, you if you were to like walk up behind this gnome, you'd effectively be in the queue, for the most part. And you do see some coins being counted out, and the old man behind the counter, reaching down. He's kind of got like a short crop of reddish hair, a few freckles, and this sort of thin, not terribly old, but sort of late 60s, maybe 70s kind of a look. And he just has a sort of short-featured face and sort of blackish, grayish robes that he has just kind of loose fitting, as if he had a bit more form to him back in the day. Kind of rolls up his sleeves and so he leans out, pulls out a drawer, and he checks the tag, and he's like, "Yep." Meanwhile, the gnome counting out a healthy amount of gold. I'm not sure how much at first glance, but a soft pouch gets placed in front of him. The gentleman at the counter checks all the coins, funnels them into a drawer somewhere, and the gnome hops off the wooden crate with his little package. We might just check in with Caleb real quick.
So Kalen is...
yeah, you would have just left the room.
Yep. So would the Flaming Fist have a headquarters, have a known like a district or area that would be well known?
Yeah.
Outer city, upper city?
Lower city. Lower and outer. They don't usually operate in the upper city. The City Watch are more directly influenced by the mercantile class and the nobles. Not the mercantile class, but the nobles. And the City Watch run the upper city. They're more privately funded. The Flaming Fist being more of a mercenary army. I know we didn't fit it in the conversation. I was like half reading my notes and like half improvising that entire conversation. What Evan Shield would have revealed to you is stuff you guys want to write down. Notes. Law drop incoming. So he would have mentioned that the Grand Duke Ulda Ravengard had recently left on a mission to El Tyrell. The nature of which he wasn't sure about, but apparently he left with a small...
Flaming Fist?
Come again?
Was this like the leader of the Flaming Fist, the Duke?
Correct. Grand Duke Ulda Ravengard. Had left Baldur's Gate a 10-day ago with a small company of Flaming Fist on a diplomatic mission. He's not sure about the details.
Yep.
Sorry?
And he hasn't come back, I assume.
No. So apparently it took some convincing by the other members of the ruling council of 4. Eventually he did accept the invitation. So in the absence, it is still being ruled by the 3 remaining dukes. I don't know if he would have told you who they were. Do you want to roll a history check? Do you think you would? Do you think Caleb would be interested?
That would be relatively well known in the city. Who the dukes?
Well, that's yeah. Like I feel like it would be like you would know who's ruling your city, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so
the Dukes. So is this the Dukes part of the Flaming Fist, or is the Dukes just the leaders of different
no,
parts?
so Duke Ravengard was in charge of the Flaming Fist.
Yeah.
So that's like his. So he was kind of like the.
So there are 4 Grand Dukes.
The general, yes. So that's coming in Discord. Yeah, that's going to come through the Discord so that you don't have to figure out how the hell to spell them. But effectively, it is Berlin, Stelmane, Dillard, Portier, and Thalamra Van Thamper.
Vampire what?
Van Thamper.
I don't trust them.
Too right. So yeah. Meanwhile, the refugees from Eltergard continue to arrive, and pretty much the only thing anybody knows is that nothing remains of Elturel except a crater in the ground. You, however, have been also given the information that there are individuals, much like yourself, aka paladins, who have sworn oaths to defend Elturel, and are looking to get into the city. However, they do not feel that they would be welcome. There's a bit of shade getting thrown around, aka blame, that people are like, oh, well, their nickname isn't the best. So those in the know, who know their true name, are like, these guys, if they're being discovered and people who know who they are, they're probably going to get in trouble if they try and get into Baldur's Gate, which they are. Okay.
Right. So I'm going to go to the known Flaming Fist district to look for Captain Zodge.
Correct.
The contact.
Correct.
And I correct. So I'm heading off that way. Pull my hood up a little bit. And I'm off.
Okay. Good. I think that's all we'll need to do with you then. Back to Barnabas and let's just wrap up with Eno because we've got about 20 minutes of the session left, or the episode. So I feel like we might just narrate what happens there. Effectively, the whole building is going to be put down on like a quarantine. The Magister is going to come around and one by one detect magic everyone. Obviously, you don't have anything currently running, although there is a strange aura that he picks up. Regardless, and that sounded far more mysterious than it needed to. Yeah, obviously there's still a lot of investigating to be done, but effectively you are going to be put in a prison, a jail, overnight at the least. And I know that takes away. Yeah, I know that's like, oh, no agency, no way to talk himself out. The captain's gonna,
get his head chopped off as well.
No, I know that seems like an abuse of DM power and whatever, and he doesn't get a chance to explain himself. I don't think they would give him a chance. Pretty much everybody who was inside those walls, even the guys who were injured, are going to be under watch for like the next 24 hours until like they get a hold on this investigation and find out what's going on. So,
well, if I can, would I be able to shimmy my way closer so that I can check the guards just quickly visually to see if any of them are getting?
Oh, they wouldn't be in the same room as you. They're probably in a hospital, but under guard, like shackled to a bed somewhere else. You would have been put in your own cell by yourself.
Okay, and just quickly, I would have had about 10 seconds, I think, in regards to me stabbing that dude downstairs and the guard showing up.
Yep.
Did I pick up the wand or anything else lying around?
Give me a quick dex check. Sleight of hand. Let's go.
Oh.
Please. Wait, no, I'm going to use that elder dice. Where is it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Make it Cthulhu bless you.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. What's my dex? -1. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. 13.
Okay, yeah, you managed to slip it up your sleeve.
Cool.
But that would have been about it.
A wonder fireball.
No. I made
I want
that
to be
mistake
one
in the
with the flame.
past. I made that mistake in the past. All right. So Eno's in jail.
Cool.
Caleb's on his way to the barracks.
Yep. By the way, I'm guessing that Barnabas has like cleaned himself off of all the glass dust and shit that flew on him when he fell out the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheeky prestidigitation.
I mean, I had a bit of like the splinters falling down. I don't think I got dusted. I like
No.
leapt and then ran to the bit, so I don't
Yeah.
think I'd.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm probably pretty adrenalined up. I might notice when I'm in the shop, but not before then.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
Oh, I probably noticed.
Oh, you.
Oops.
What's that giant splinter in your head?
Okay, so
Do I take it out? Do I leave it in?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, boys, calm down. So you would eventually, So back in the shop with you boys.
Shopping simulator.
Shop boys.
It's quite a queue.
Right, so there's no gnome, right?
No, the gnome's just hopped off his stool, off his crate, and headed down the aisle towards you guys.
Alright, so I'm going to walk up to the gentleman behind the counter and say, sir, I noticed that you have quite a few books. Do you have any theological in nature?
Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly is the what? I'm not particularly familiar with our little library upstairs, and unfortunately my my lovely wife, she's out for the day. It's just me here, so I mean, you're more than welcome to have a little peruse upstairs, but I don't think I could point you in any particular direction.
All right, fine. Thank you for your help, and I'll just peruse
Sorry, I couldn't be of any more help.
Would I be correct in assuming that you're Greenwood?
Mr. Greenwood, yes.
Mr. Greenwood, pleasure.
Yes.
What is it that you sell here? Do you aside from your large library upstairs?
Just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You know, we get around a lot. Yeah, no, just general. You know.
You're gonna
like
stutter off.
We tend to. Yeah, no. Yeah, we procure a few exotic reagents and components, but at the same time some more common ones, because of course you can't just forget the common folk at the same time. Yeah, we just do a variety of things. We do some minor enchantments. It's not our primary business, but yes, my wife is also into procuring some sort of interesting books every now and then. It's kind of it turned out to be a bit of a hobby, and then we realised that the floors were filling up at home. So I thought, look, we'll put an extension upstairs. We'll put in some stairs, and you can just go and throw your books up there. And look, if anybody wants to purchase them, then why not? Because she couldn't possibly read them all. That's what I keep telling her.
I have a billion questions for you, Mr. Greenwood. Do you purchase components? What sort of enchantments do you have? And I'm quite a practitioner myself. What sort? Do you have any spells, scrolls, books, anything that might pique my interest?
Look, let's start from the top of the list. So, look, we do buy things, usually not from independent sellers, unless you've got something particularly rare or interesting.
Well, go on.
Well, what did you have? Do you have it here on yourself, on your person?
I'm not much of an alchemical. I'm not much of an alchemist by more of the arcane nature, and I've got some various components to do with alchemy here. I've also got a what I believe to be a young green dragon scale. I'm not sure if that is of
Oh,
worth or note.
really? Um, is it fresh?
No, I don't believe it is fresh. No,
Oh, okay.
just
Well,
something I happened upon.
right. Because usually, if they're fresh, I'm not assuming you don't know, but
I don't know. You can assume away. That's
very,
Greenwood.
very right.
Not my
Usually,
area, the component side of things.
yes. Uh, green, chromatic dragons. That is. Usually on the darker side of the nature there, but green dragons tend to have some interesting properties. Their element and their alignment is quite harsh, quite acidic, and very dangerous. But their scales tend to have a sort of neutralizing properties for harsh chemicals and things like that. So the fresher they are, the better, because we can sort of create a solution. I'm babbling, I know. Anyway, you can create a solution that actually extracts those properties, and we can distill it down into an actual sort of an antidote for toxic. And if you've ever consumed anything, you've got a bit of an upset stomach, it can be sort of refined down into a remedy for that. Like I said, we kind of do home remedies and little things like that.
Is there a desk that you would like to inspect the ones that
look,
I've got?
Yes, look. Just plop it right here, just out on the counter.
I pull out the green scale, and I also pull out the pouch of various alchemist components that I picked up.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, Tavos, what's going on upstairs?
I've headed up, kind of just trying to like scour through the sections, trying to look for anything about this, about the like about hell, heaven and hell kind of thing.
Okay. Roll me D100.
Okay, yeah.
I know we're doing this, but
First D100 roll.
It's for
67.
67. For those of you watching, I have dozens of. For those of you watching, I have dozens of roll tables, and I like to kick off any sort of loot or investigation, or I want to find the thing with a D100 roll. So what have we got? What have we got there? 67.
67.
All right. You find one tome that looks particularly interesting. As soon as you flop it open, though, you realize that there's like a thin sort of magazine in the middle, and as you kind of open it up, you realize the cover of this magazine just has scrawled across the front of it, "Girls Gone Feywild."
Oh my god! Yes. Save that for Eno, please.
So that's not meant to be there. So that's clearly not meant to be there.
It's a fold down.
Yeah. Tavos is just gonna blush, like quite a lot, quickly close it and just put it back slightly, and just like look quickly to see if anyone's like seen him.
No one's noticed.
Yeah, he's just gonna like completely ignore that and just like head to the opposite side of the books.
Okay. You keep sort of looking through, and you realize that it's there's no sort of necessarily discernible order to the way things are organized. Roll me another D100.
35.
Okay. This one seems like it seems a little thin, but you realized it did say it's in other tomes sort of relating to monsters and exotic creatures. The first one, you realize that there's 3 that look quite similar, written by the same author. The first one is titled "Cloudy with a Chance of Manticores." The second one is "Farewell to Armor: A Delver's Guide to Rust Monsters." And a third one says, "We're going on an owlbear hunt."
Oh, that's cute. You can take that back to the orphanage. Go and catch a big one.
You kind of finger through. You look at a few other titles. One of them seems to be like a self-help section, and one's titled "7 Habits of Highly Effective Peasants." Another one, a novel fiction, "A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Multiverse." But then you kind of you feel like you're running out of shelf space, and things start to be more up your alley. Bond with the Wind, a guide to summoning elementals, and other sort of interesting things. And you realize the titles start disappearing on the covers. You start having to look inside, and then out of the corner of your eye, at the bottom of a stack of books on the floor, this gold-trimmed, heavy tome piques your interest.
I kind of push the other books off and pick it up, blow off all the dust.
Yeah, you run a finger around it and you see that beautifully embedded and sort of pressed and carved effectively into the leather cover is an incredibly intricate summoning circle. You may be familiar with this. It's not necessarily druidic magic, but it just also has all of this symbology that is just screaming evil. You flip open the inside cover, and it reads, "The Practice of Summoning Devils."
Oh, how would I get away with buying it? Like, it's not illegal, is it?
Roll a history check.
Is stealing bad?
No, I'm not trying to steal. I'm trying to see if I go, hey, I want to buy this, and they go, wait a minute, you're one of them. I got a 16.
We only keep that book to trap people.
Yeah.
Put the fail word. Put the fail word in it.
Use that as the cover.
Yeah.
I'm buying porn. That's what I'm doing.
Yes,
I live for 700 years. I need good illustrations.
Is that worse than a guide to summoning devils?
Still summoning.
No, it's not. Anyway, you feel like in this shop, like I said, you look around and there's a mixture of just utility and like they serve the everyday folk, and then there's some kind of weird shit. There's kind of some voodoo. There's like an undertone. There's like a, hey, whatever you're into, kind of acceptance is the feeling you're getting here. However, you know that typically in a big city like this, you'd be arrested for possession of something like that.
Give me a light check.
Was that for the Feywild or?
No, this is this is like what's it? It's just it's like demon, like demonology kind of stuff. Yeah, go with my guy's background. Maybe not. I'm just gonna. If I only had a camera, just like take pictures.
Oh, you do.
Can I start reading through it, like just like perusing it, like for
roll an intelligence check for me.
Like see if there's anything interesting in there for me. Okay.
So. Roll an intelligence check. You notice that the 2 young nobles who were leaning over the balcony have moved to a little reading couch nearby. And they are looking, they glance up at you every now and again, but they don't seem to, they're not
like interested.
Yeah, they're not interested in you. They're just noting that you're there.
Okay, I got a 9.
9.
Yeah. As soon as you open it up, it starts with theory, and like the whole first chapter is just like warnings and like, don't mess with this, don't do it. This is a collection of information. Although you could follow through, summoning a devil is just the worst. is effectively what you get. But other than that, yeah, you don't get anything useful necessarily.
It's also not necessary. They're popping up everywhere.
What are you talking about?
Well,
yeah.
for us too.
Yeah, just for us.
Yeah.
What did we do? Who did we piss off?
Well, maybe my god hates me. But she's
All right.
one of the great ones.
What do you want to do?
I'm sensing this may not be the precise material we're looking for. Like, we're looking for information, not how to get more of them to like fuck with me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of put it back under where I found it and kind of back away.
Okay. It's almost this really awkward thing that these two noble kids now kind of notice you doing. You like place the book on the floor and then like a dozen other books on top of it. And by the time you look up, they've kind of stopped their conversation and just like eyeing you up.
I just kind of give him a kind of nod, just like, hey, just like walk back down.
They nod back in kind, and you walk off. Meanwhile, Barnabas, I know we're running out of time. We might just do a little.
Let's just push through another half hour.
Yeah, let's just push on a little bit. I do need to go to the bathroom though, so let's do a quick bathroom break. If everyone's all right to push on, we can wrap things up a little bit more neater in a moment. So it won't be a full 10-minute break. We'll just do a quick bathroom break, but we'll be right back. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for waiting. We are going to push through another 15, hopefully, minutes.
Oh, Decent into Avernus. Let's do it.
Yes, welcome back to Decent into Avernus. Completely intentional spelling. So, back. So yeah, not Calum, Tarvos, the other guy, begins pacing down the stairs as Barnabas spreads his wares across the counter. Items of note being the green dragon scale and a collection of alchemical reagents.
Are these of use to you, Mr. Greenwood?
Oh, that is interesting. He sort of like takes a little pinch of powder, sniffs it, tastes it. Sorry, you didn't mention where you procured these from.
They found themselves into my possession from the journey from Waterdeep to here. Been quite a journey.
See, that's look, I don't like to throw suspicion around. I believe everything you say. That is, if it is the truth. But that particular ground owlbear bone is from a particular supplier, and I don't know them to source many, if any, stores up in that region. I don't think.
Well, I travelled from there to here. On my travels,
Yes.
do I look like
okay.
a man who would be? If you don't want it, then I'll take it back.
Look, I think that might be the best.
Okay.
Yes, I'm afraid I don't think I can accept this.
That's quite all right. As I said, I'm just inquiring, but I hope you understand that I'm not unreputable.
No, and to have a green dragon scale, I mean, look, it's completely lost its luster. I can tell that there's that it's been buffed and there's a cleaning compound on it, and you see him just like pick it up and scratch this like a waxy residue off the top. You know, almost like someone like testing a coin and just like bending it. He's just like, that's clearly very old.
Not useful anymore. I did say it was quite old.
No, that's fine. Unfortunately,
fresh dragon scales aren't easy to come across.
It depends who you know and how much you're willing to pay. Look, that's fine. Look, Mr. Blastwind, that's perfectly all right. Look, like I said, your business is your own. I don't mind, but I don't think we can do any trades in that regard.
Onto my next
your other
one,
questions.
You have small enchanted items. I'd love to know what you've got. What sort of wares?
I mean, look, there's quite a mixture of different things, different curios, bits and pieces. They get around. To be perfectly honest, things that are dangerous, things that are a little more fun and jovial. But look, usually people know what they're after, and I sort them out. So, is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
Anything in regards to armor of some description? Something that will offer me protection?
Protection.
I'm quite a cautious individual.
All right.
And I don't have a home in this lovely upper city, I'm afraid. I need to go into the lower one to find my stay.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I have anything like that in store at the moment. I couldn't help but notice while my guards were inspecting your person that you did show that you had a sword on you.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't. Again, no offense. It doesn't look like a particularly good one.
as I told your man at the front, this actually belongs to a mugger who tried to, as I said, from the lower district, who
goodness,
ran afoul of my practitioner
right?
and my friends. Of course.
Look, again, I don't mean any offence. If it serves you, that's fine. There is
it's definitely temporary.
A bit of an enchantment that I could do on it, but if you had a better weapon that you were looking to use for a bit longer, there is an enchantment that I can do that allows one's weapon to meld with the clothes they're wearing.
Meld with the clothes they're wearing?
Well, I should also let you know that I sell the revealing charm to many of the noble houses and things around here. Most of the guards know to look for this enchantment because they know that I sell it, and they know that I'm the only one in the city who provides it. But so you wouldn't be able to hide it from them. But if anyone else were to pat you down or search for anything on your person, they wouldn't be able to find it because it would be effectively integrated into your robes.
Oh, that sounds like quite a powerful enchantment. What sort of cost would come with enchantment? I'm not ready for that with this blade, but just inquiring. As you said, it's just a temporary.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just waving the sword around a little. Like it's just a temporary.
He doesn't even seem phased. He can tell that you don't know what you're doing with it, and he's just he's not worried that you're gonna hurt him. He's like, look, that starts at about 100, 150 gold, depending on the size of the sword. A short sword like that would be about 100. Anything more substantial takes a little longer. But yes. I mean, yeah, we also we have enchanted brooms that not only brush things up very effectively, but they actually send them into another dimension, believe it or not, into another plane of existence. So you just sweep up anything that's really tiny and dust-like, and it doesn't just gather in a pile; it just disappears completely.
Is that dangerous at all?
I've never heard of anyone losing any fingers or toes, so it should be fine.
Fungus? Tavos, they have a magic broom. Don't you think the orphanage would quite like a magic broom?
I think it'll be fine without it. They don't have any books that I've been looking for.
I see. So just quickly, because we're in a little bit of a rush, Mr. Greenwood. Anything in the terms of magic of books or scrolls or anything in that regard?
We don't usually deal with scrolls. No, it's just not something we deal with.
More of the enchantment and potions variety is your cup of tea.
Yeah. I mean, we sell almost a dozen of these a week, and he just pulls out what seems like an ordinary blanket, sort of a dust woolen, compacted fiber blanket. He says, "This one's a fisherman's blanket. This one doesn't matter how wet it gets. You just give it a quick shake, and all the water just drops right out of it, and left warm and dry." So yeah, we sell quite a few of these to the dock workers. They seem to lose them though, so we keep them fairly cheap. Is there something you'd be interested in?
So it's like you cover yourself with it, and then when it's wet, you give it a shake, and then it's dry again. Is that correct?
Yes.
How much do they go for?
Oh, only about 10 gold.
See, and the sailors here can afford that on their wages.
We do discounts for them.
I see.
Yeah, and we usually sell them in bulk.
That does sound like a luxury that I would very much like to come back for at a later date. But
right.
Really, just
like I said,
this.
we usually got plenty in stock.
Well, I think that's everything that I have. Oh, it's probably not really your area, but I've got some nice paper that I'd love to have valued in some way. I don't know. You don't sell that sort of thing. Don't forget I said anything.
I think it's his wife who deals with the books.
Yes, yes.
So.
Yeah.
When is Mrs. Greenwood going to be back in store?
Well, she said she had some errands to run that might take all day, to be perfectly
But
honest.
usually she's here. Is the...
Oh, yes. Usually here. Oh, I don't know. She should be home before dark.
Does she deal
Kind of a
in the
thing.
arcane side of things, or is it?
Yes, she's
just
usually the one who does the enchanting. Not necessarily. I know what's going on, but just don't have the neck for it, really.
magical books and scrolls? She might have that sort of thing.
Like I said, it is a bit of a hobby of hers, yes. So
Great. So maybe we'll come back another day when the lady of the establishment is home.
yeah.
I would love to meet her.
Usually it is the two of us, so that's totally fine.
Well, you've been very helpful, Mr. Greenwood. Well, first,
that's fine.
First, what could, would Mr. Greenwood? Is that what you like to? I can.
Look, most people do call me.
Have I overstepped?
No, it's usually.
Holy crap.
Elganon.
It's quite all right. Mr. Greenwood, it has been a pleasure.
Elganon.
Elganon.
Elganon Greenwood, at your service, sir.
I think we should just go. I think you're bothering him. Let's just go back to the lower district. Have a, try relax, okay?
Yes.
I think you should just leave this lovely man and his wares alone, okay?
Well, I don't think we were bothering too much. We're potential customers. I'll say this as I'm walking away. Potential future customers.
So, farewell. Thank you for stopping at Greenwood's.
I'm just trying to pull Barnabas out of the shop. He's kind of like going on and...
How unlucky can we be? What a day we're having, Tarvos. We didn't find the book. We didn't find anything that I was looking for in here, and he didn't want any of the things that I procured.
Right. Maybe you should take it to someone less reputable. Okay.
Less local is probably what I was thinking.
Alright, let's go. And we leave.
Alright, and with that, you wander out onto the street, and we see the two of you head towards a nearby gate.
We're going to the one that we came in earlier because Tarvos heavily bribed the man at the front.
Yeah, what was it? 10 gold or something?
It wasn't 10, was it?
No, it was 8.
8?
Yeah.
You gave him 8 gold?
Yeah. Tear for order.
Oh.
Find me.
It was our gold.
I feel like it might have been Heapgate, all the way at the north.
Yeah, it was.
So the two of you begin, once again, a long journey on foot, all the way up to the Heapgate.
While we're walking, I'll put some jam on a cracker and we'll share that.
Oh, the jam.
It's probably about lunchtime. You guys are feeling a bit peckish at this stage, and that's when you realize, as you approaching even before you get to the gate, that there is a long queue.
Oh, but surely we can skip this queue, surely, Tarvos. You paid that man like 8 years' salary.
Well, I could skip the queue, but I'm not sure you.
What do you mean?
Well, because I've got skills you don't.
You bribed him for our group, surely.
Well, no, I mean, I can just turn into an animal and crawl off, but...
I always forget that you can do that. It's a bit creepy.
It's not creepy. It's why I did all those years
Well, it's not that it's creepy. It's that you always turn into creepy creatures. It's always a spider or something with more legs than is normal.
But spiders can climb. That's why I go them.
Yes, but so can squirrels.
I know, but they get to... I had a bad experience.
It's just
with
the number of legs that I'm not a fan of. Just even 0 is better than 8 or 10 or whatever you're turning into.
I'm going to be honest. I'm having a bit of trouble with snakes at the moment.
I'm quite partial to snakes, actually. I think they're fascinating.
Right.
Anyway,
So we'll hop in the queue.
all right. A few minutes later, you're noticing people getting called aside and huddled into a group. Others getting let through. Pretty much everyone seems to have a watch token on their person. But this matters little as each person seems to be taken aside. A pat down occurs, and a series of questions being conducted by a magister. Eventually, you guys get to the front of the queue, and you get split off to two side queues. Tarvos, you're instructed to stand on a spot, spread your arms.
I do so.
Quick pat down.
I think this
He
is
pulls
the
this.
heap gate.
Yeah. Quick pat down. He says, "Scimitar. Other
Yes, I got a
weapons."
scimitar. I've got I'm just gonna hold my arms up and say I've got a scimitar, a shield, and a little sling.
Right. Your business in the upper district.
So entering the city from the north and leaving to the lower city.
Your business in the upper city.
Oh, business.
Paintings.
Well, I did hit up a few shops on my way down, and a gentleman did offer to paint me. He was quite strange.
Just take a few steps over there. Produce your watch token and show it to the magister, please.
I produce my watch token. Show it to the magister.
Magister inspects it with a piece of colored, like a colored lens, and looks fine. He then just kind of gives you one server. Magic caster. Yes.
Yes. One based in nature.
And like just keeps this like colored thing across your eyes.
Oh yeah.
Tell me, are you capable of creating magical copies of yourself?
I cannot do illusions. I can only control nature.
All right. Seems like you're telling the truth. Would controlling nature involve explosive spells?
Just let me check so I can see if that's the truth.
I think
Sure.
you can use like
Meanwhile,
thunder magic, but not
Barnabas, pretty much the same line of questioning coming towards you.
Oh, the
On your side of same thing. On the other side, you've been patted down. Says produce your watch token, and a magister
right here?
again. Yeah. Looks over the watch token. Looks over at you.
Just been shopping. I've been to Greenwood's. It was quite a name. Greenwood's Components, Reagents, and Magical Enchantments.
Mhm.
And,
I'm
my
familiar.
comrade over there was painted, and that was my business in the
Just a
upper
day in
city.
the upper city then.
Sadly, time to go back.
Yeah, didn't go anywhere else in the upper city. Just a few stores.
A few stores, yes.
Roll a deception check.
Oh wait, we also and the painting, of course.
Tarvos, I'm also going to need a deception check.
What did I deceive?
persuasion.
I
that
don't know.
You were just coming in from the north and passing through.
Yeah, like
deception.
Yeah,
It's partially true.
Yeah, your business in the upper city.
12.
Okay.
Okay, so deception gets +0, so it's 15.
Okay.
Is he asking me about explosives and stuff as well? Or no?
Yeah, he asks you the same question. He says, "Magic user, I see."
Yes, I am a practitioner. That's largely what led me to Greenwoods.
Able to produce disguise as magical illusions of yourself?
No, I can't say that illusion is really part of my repertoire.
That
I'm still learning, though. One day, I'll
he
have all
points
sorts, a menagerie of magical.
he points at your
options.
chest, and he says, "Are you sure there's nothing you want to tell me?"
Well, this helps me with prestidigitation, a transmutation spell.
Hmm. Yes, this one, that one. Pull them aside.
It
Points
does
to
give
you,
off.
points to Tavos.
Does give off
Okay.
transmutation, not
Yeah.
Yeah.
not illusion.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I would have told him. Yeah, I can. I can do small
Yeah.
explosions.
But Barnabas, Barnabas isn't getting past, and he just mentioned that he was with you. So,
Oh, shit. Sorry.
the two of you are being escorted aside,
No.
and put in shackles.
Oh, this seems quite too much. Unnecessary.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be unnecessary, but that's for me to decide.
Sure. What are you accusing us of?
Escort them away. The case will be decided tomorrow.
Don't worry, Barnabas. I'll be fine once I find my contacts.
Or you two, quit it. And a pair of guards escort each of you to the same block that Eno happens to be held in, and Tavos gets placed in the cell opposite Eno. Barnabas in the cell next to him, and you realize it is bustling here. They have
arrested everyone.
there's a bunch of people here.
Every magic user in the city.
And there's just a mixture of gnomes and elves and humans and dwarves. Pretty much anyone who can sling a spell seems to have been taken in for overnight watch.
We've done the equivalent of like climbing the harbor bridge, just like shutting down everything in the city.
All right.
Oh, I'm so glad they didn't look at your paintings, dude. I was so worried he'd just go, and were you on this street when that happened?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do we have a depiction of you outside at sunrise, mere hours before the incident occurred? Excuse me?
Minutes, really?
You made your own security camera and got caught in the footage.
Oh my god.
We should have said that we were getting painted out the front. Like, but they wouldn't have let us out. I don't know.
Oh god. Okay, that was wild. A little bit of a longer session this week, guys. Really, everyone who is watching, obviously we got a lot of friends and people watching. But look, if you're honestly being entertained by this, really, really do appreciate you guys sticking around. The viewership has been +10 pretty much every week, and I know like you guys are all logged in and we've got friends and family. But even if you are watching, even if you aren't, it really means the world to me. It means the world to us. It it forces me to up my game and increase my pay attention to stuff, and it just makes me a better game master and a better dungeon master. So really appreciate that. It helps me perform in front of a camera, even though it just feels like we're playing a game of D&D with some really good people. It's still a pleasure to do it for your entertainment. So if you find this interesting and you've got a group of players or you've got some other people who you think might enjoy it, our silly bants and our crazy shenanigans, please share it. Please leave a like and all of that sort of cool stuff. I know you don't do that on Twitch, but the VODs are going to be up on YouTube. I've been really slack in doing that. I think I even lost a week's footage, so our second episode isn't going to be up there, but every week from here on out is going to be up on YouTube, the Game Master Chef channel. So check it out there if there's anything you missed. And I will also do a highlight reel, so all the funny bits are going to be contained in that, which you can find on Twitch as well. As always, our Music and atmosphere provided by Michael Gelfi. I know it wasn't working this week. I will sort that out and make sure it's working for next week. Other than that, really appreciate you. And that's it. Bye from everyone here.
Catch you guys.
See you guys.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.